Hello, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Cecilia Barnard. I am a second year physical therapy student at Regis University in Denver, Colorado. I am from Santa Fe, New Mexico originally, and I got my bachelor's degree in exercise science at the University of New Mexico before moving to Colorado for grad school. I've always wanted to live in this state. I'm a big skier, big hiker, so exploring the Rocky Mountains and just this state in general has been so awesome and such a great experience. My first clinical rotation was in Kalispell, Montana, in an outpatient musculoskeletal setting in a more rural area. I was primarily working with older patients experiencing chronic pain and chronic diseases, as well as a variety of musculoskeletal and work-related issues and injuries. Coming from a background in inpatient pediatric rehabilitation, this rotation offered a very different and eye-opening perspective on patient care for me, as well as approaches to patient care. So this summer, my second clinical rotation will be in Denver at an outpatient musculoskeletal clinic focused on sports medicine, manual therapy, and pre- and post-operative care. I am particularly interested in orthopedics and neurology, and I'm especially drawn to the inpatient setting due to its emphasis on interdisciplinary collaboration and clinical complexity. I got to work in this setting as a rehabilitation technician, and it was so awesome to see how different professionals came together to collaborate and really develop the best plan of care for patients. It was really inspiring. I like to see how each individual person thinks through things in problems clinically, and I am excited to come back into this team setting as a clinician and see how I can contribute in that team setting. I believe that flexibility is an essential skill for effective clinical practice, and I think that I was a little naive going into my first clinical rotation because I felt like I had to have a set game plan to figure out exactly what I was going to do with a patient, but I quickly learned that that is not possible in a physical therapy setting because patients will often walk in with something new factors to consider, so it's important to modify what you want to do to better conform to their wants and needs or how they're feeling that day. So I think that really developed into a strength of mine towards the end of my first clinical rotation because I was able to better think on my feet and modify my plan of care in the moment. I think that another one of my strengths really lies in my communication skills, not only with patients and their families if they're a factor in their journey, but also with my colleagues and clinical instructor, really making sure that everybody's on the same page, that the goals are always clear and achievable, and that there are no gray areas at the end of the day. So as I continue to develop my clinical skills, I would like to receive constructive feedback after working with a patient rather than during, so that I can develop my own clinical reasoning while working through a problem and then seek targeted feedback after to fine-tune my plan of care, assuming that there isn't something that needs to be addressed immediately. I think that this gives me the opportunity to ask my instructor questions about whatever's going on and to maintain good rapport and trust with my patients at the same time that I'm working with. To further prepare my clinical practice, I plan to prioritize electives in manual therapy to refine my hands-on skills, as well as dry needling to complete my requirements for certification by the time that I graduate so that I'm able to use it as a modality in practice, if I'm able to. And then after graduation, my goal is to work in an inpatient setting where I can treat a diverse population of patients, collaborate with other healthcare providers, really hone in on the skills that I've learned in school as much as possible to solidify them and continue to develop into a well-rounded and adaptable clinician. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to hear soon. Have a great day.